Good morning. Am I audible to all? Just
Yes,
check.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, everyone. The session is about to start. We'll start in within few minutes. Okay, so session is about to start. Hello, everyone. Dear dignitaries, faculties, and the participants, Namaste. A very good morning to one and all. On behalf of Vidyalankar Polytechnic, I, Mrs. Tanvi Gole, feel honored today to welcome you all to this IST-approved one-week faculty development program on transforming teaching learning process through modern pedagogical techniques. Goddess Saraswati is an embodiment of wisdom, knowledge, and learning. And it's our holy tradition to worship Goddess Saraswati before any important event. So let's dedicate a prayer to Ma Saraswati. So I request ma'am to play the Saraswati Vandana. world of education is in perpetual state of evolution. The forces of technology and reforms in pedagogy and transforming the process of 21st century in teaching and learning. Teaching and learning are at the core of human civilization. Even before the written words were invented, there were teachers and students around. The tradition carries on into the second millennium, but great innovations are being introduced to refine and transform the teaching and learning experience. So the objective of this program is to simplify underlying principles and recommendations in higher education and teacher education, and to avail a training platform for acquiring skills and plan collaboratively in higher education and teacher education. Now I request our principal sir, Professor Ashish Ukidve sir, to address the gathering.
Thank you, Tanvi madam. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So good morning to one and all present here for joining this faculty development program approved by ISTE. The topic being transforming teaching learning process through modern pedagogical techniques. At the outset, let me tell you that Vidyalankar Polytechnic has always been on the forefront of conducting knowledge workshops and knowledge faculty development programs. So in the series of such sessions, this particular IST approved 1 week faculty development program is a further addition. As we all know that National Education Policy 2020 is under process of implementation, and the policy mandates the changes in teaching learning process. So entire pedagogical shift is expected while we implement this NEP 2020. So this type of workshop will provide focused approach which is commenced appreciate the enthusiasm of participants. I've told that we have more than 350 registrations for this 1 week FDP. And I really appreciate this type of involvement and look forward for good contributing type of faculty development program. The topics which have been planned, they include interactivity with MOOCs. We have preparing e-learning material, the guidance on that. We talk about open education resources, OERs, techno-pedagogical skills, cooperative and collaborative learning, content integration, and so on. So these next 5 days, exchanging ideas pertaining to modern pedagogical techniques and their implementation, keeping in the objective in mind as to how we can implement these techniques in accomplishing the objectives specified by National Education Policy 2020. So on behalf of Vidyalankar Polytechnic, I once again welcome all the participants and of course the experts for these sessions. Please note that we have about 80% experts who are from outside the state of Maharashtra. So I really appreciate the time and their effort which they are going to put in for enlightening all of us in these 5 days of faculty development program. So with these words, I wish all of you a happy learning experience. Let the ideas come from all sides, as they call in Rigveda, Ano Bhadra Krato Yantu Vishwataha. Let the ideas pour in from all sides and let this FDP be a grand success. Thank you so much. I now request Tanvi Madam to take it further. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ashish sir. So we will start with the session. Starting with the day one of the program, I would like to introduce our first speaker. So our first speaker of the day one, session one, is Dr. Muhammad Mamoor Ali sir. He is working as an assistant professor at Department of Teacher Training and Non-Formal Education, IASC Faculty of Education, Jamia Millia Ismaili. It's a Central University, New Delhi, and he is also contributing as an academic counselor in Indira Gandhi National Open University, Maulana Azad National Urdu University, and Center for Distance and Open Education, and also in Jamia Millia Ismailia for teacher education program. His area of specialization include computers in education and ETICT, and his area of interest include educational research, mathematics education, and teacher education. Dr. Ali has more than 15 years of experience in teaching, research, and development at school, institute, and university level. So I welcome Muhammad Mamoor Ali sir. He will be delivering the first session on digital teaching skills. So I welcome you, sir, and I also request you to hand over the session to you. Take over the session. Sir, I request you to unmute yourself. You are in the mute mode.
Okay, thank you very much for giving a nice introduction. I have some problem with my cameras. It was working well in the morning when I joined, but now again some problem is there. So I will start with my presentation. But before coming to the presentation, I will share with you few things. First of all, I am sharing my screen so that you can confirm me whether it is visible to you or not. So just I am sharing my screen first. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir. The screen is visible.
Okay. So first of all, thank you very much, Vidya Lankar Polytechnic, for giving me this chance to interact with the intellectuals. with the person who is associated with the teaching learning process directly or indirectly. So thank you again. Now I would like to say that our topic of today's discussion is digital teaching skills. And there are two meanings of this particular topic. One is that what are the skills which are required in digital teaching, which may be also said online teaching. Another way of understanding is that what are the ICT or digital skills for teaching. It may be online or it may be offline. So I will discuss the first, that what are the digital skills or ICT skills required for teaching learning or for teachers. And again, before coming to the topic, I would like to mention here, there are two perspectives of thinking such kind of, you can say, topics, or whenever you are thinking about ICT integration or technology integration in teaching learning. One is academic perspective, means as a teacher, I will start with the thinking of my teaching content. What is my content to teach? What are the requirements of this particular topic? How to teach, and what kind of teaching learning materials or resources required to facilitate the teaching learning process. This is one way of thinking, one perspective. Another may be technological perspective, where I will start thinking about the ICT or digital tools. What is the power or potential of a particular tool? How I can use this particular tool in teaching learning, and how I can get benefit out of using this digital tool or digital material. So as a teacher, I would like to have the first perspective, that is academic, so that we can think first about the teaching learning process. And then we will see, is there any requirement, is there any need where I can use digital tools or resources, and that's why I need digital teaching skills. Means I should have the competencies or skills to use such kind of tools which can be beneficial in my teaching learning process. So I will start with the scenario which all of you may be aware of, that in any kind of teaching learning scenario, whether it is a school or institution or college or university, means high school education or higher education, these are the major components. Learner is at the center, as we understand that we nowadays say that we are having learner centered education, means learner is at the center and we are thinking about each and everything related to learner, how we can facilitate the learning process of a learner. So the very first major component is educational resources. In school education, we can think about, there are some textbooks, like for example NCERT textbooks are adopted in the school, or state may also have some textbooks, and schools may also have school text. Similarly, in higher education, you have some reference material, some books which are referred by the instructor or teacher. So in short, you have some resources to go through. Means as a learner, you have some resources, some educational resource. As a teacher, you have to provide, you have to access as well as provide to the learner these resources. Then you have to have in the classroom some kind of presentation or your presence. The presence is important here. Teacher's presence. Teacher is talking to the students, teacher is showing something, teacher is presenting something using different educational resources or materials. Then there is a very much important component is classroom interaction. Means teacher sometimes ask questions to understand whether child is going through whatever I have given and understanding the same which I intended to. Similarly, a student can also have discussion with their peer group. Means you can have some kind of discussion activities, some debates, some discussion in the classroom. And why it is important? Because this is the key of the learning. In the classroom, if interaction is there, if dialogue is there, if discussion is there, then you can say some learning is happening. If it is not, then I am not sure whether learning is happening or not. And last but not the least, assessment and evaluation is again important component of teaching learning in the classroom. It may be formative when you are going in the learning process, means you are doing some activity or you are learning something. At that time, teacher may require some kind of evidence to understand whether child is going in the right way or not, whether child is having some problem in learning or not, so that he or she can have alternative strategies or remedial kind of actions. Or it may be summative at the end to understand how much a child is getting or how much he or she has learned. So these are the major components to start with to understand the teaching learning scenario where I as a teacher can use digital tools and digital resources, and for that purpose I need to have or to acquire the digital teaching skills. Now I would like to show you one another slide where to my understanding, a teacher whenever he or she is going to classroom doing some important functions, or these are the major activities which are done by a teacher in the class. Or maybe because these are the broad thing which I have written, it is not only that these are the only points, it may have one point, may have another sub point, but as a large or as a broad category, I have thought out that these are the major actions which are taken by a teacher in the class. Like for example, before coming to the class, teacher plan, whether it is in the form of lesson plan or teaching plan or or on the paper or not on the paper, but plan is important and every teacher plan. What kind of planning? What content I will teach today? What should be presented in front of learners? How I will present? What method or what way I will teach this particular concept or content? What kind of I will require to facilitate whether I can do. All these kind of thinking are going on in the mind of teacher. How I will evaluate or assess the child, how I will manage the classroom. All these things will be the part of planning. And planning just on the paper or in the mind will not work if you will not execute it, or if you will not work to execute your planning. So to execute the planning, you need some resources and some strategies. So very first thing after planning, when you go to the class, you have to have some teaching learning resources. And from where you will get, either you can get from website or some repositories or some center where these kind of resources are available. So second important task for a teacher is to access teaching learning resources. If it is not available, if you are not able to access, you are not able to find, then you have to create. Or even sometimes you are accessing or you are finding some teaching learning resource, some material, but in your context, in your classroom, where you want to use it is not matching, is not suitable for that particular class. due to some reason, due to some contextual point of view. So at that point also, you have to think about whether directly you have to use this resource or you have to modify. Am I audible to all?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
So you have to create. If it is not available, you have to create the teaching learning resource. Then you have to present the content in front of the students using different materials or resources. So presentation is again important task, or you can say function of teacher in the classroom. As I discussed with you in the first slide, that interaction, discussion with the student is one of the major component. So interacting or discussion with the students is again important task for the teacher. Assessing students' learning is again important task. So these are the major things. You can include much more things. I'm just having all these points just to give you idea that what a teacher can do in the classroom when he or she is going to teach the students. Now come to the point that what are the skills required, or how to do these kind of tasks with the help of ICT or digital tools and resources. So very first point is planning. So how I can do planning with the ICT or with the digital tools. So if you think about the planning may be in three aspect or respect. Very first point is that you can plan in respect of time, means you can do planning of time. Like for example, a teacher is having course plan calendar for the whole year or semester, whatever mode you are using or having in the, you can say, institution. So you have to have, or most of the time teacher is creating calendar or course plan, that how I will go through the whole session, semester or year. So that this is the planning of time. It may be semester wise, even you can reduce the time duration. Like for example, you can plan week wise, month wise, day wise, even session wise. What I will do in this particular day, what topic I will cover. And even after COVID, it is not very difficult to visualize, because most of the teachers are using Google Calendar for planning such kind of, you can say, time planning or events or tasks. You are creating your Google Meet session using Google Calendar also to mention that this particular day, this particular time, I will take class, and so many things. So if you are thinking planning in terms of time, you can create calendar. And there is a software, Rain Lender, which is free and open source. And Google is very much famous and easier to handle. So you can also use Google Calendar. Maybe you are using, I hope. Then there is second point, that you can also plan content. Means you can plan that this particular major topic I will discuss. These are the sub themes or subtopics which I will cover. These are the relationships between these concepts or sub concepts, and this much I will go in depth. So you can plan in this way, and that is in form of concept map. You can do this kind of task or thing, that you can create concept map. And most of the teacher are creating concept map for different purposes, but for planning you can create concept map also. And there are again software which are free and open source, famously known as POS. And one there are three names, but you can use anyone. Beyond these names, it is not only that you have to use these software. It is just for the example: free mind, free plane, VUE. And there are several websites also nowadays which are free to create this kind of mind map. in technical word or in technological terminology, we say mind map. So you can create mind map or concept map using different software or different websites. You can also organize your thoughts and notes. Like for example, maybe some of you are having right now paper pencil to note down the things which are going on. But after 1 year or after some times, maybe you will forget that where my notes are and where in my notebook, how to collect, how to go back to understand what we have learned in that particular session. But if you are using digital way, means you are using some app or some software, you can organize your thoughts. You can you can recollect whenever you are, means you can retrieve whenever you are requiring, and you can organize also. Means you can create a notebook using different notes. So there are so many things which you can do using such kind of software or mobile app. There are mobile app also nowadays. Even Google is having one application named as Keep. So you can also use that. So there are so many things which you can do or you can use for planning purpose. Then come to the next point, how to access or search e-resources. There are three ways. Sometimes you know the location of that particular place. Like if you know the address of someone, you will go directly. If you don't know the address, you will ask from someone. So similarly here also in websites or in internet, that whenever you are knowing the exact location of that particular website or web page where you have some resources, you will directly go to that particular website or web page. But if you don't know the location, then you will use search engine. So search engine will help you in searching the required e-resources or material. And very famous search engine is Google, and you can also use Yahoo. So there are different search engines which can be used for this purpose. I will demonstrate also after completing this explanation part that how to go to search or access, how to create concept map and these things. Then you can also think about, nowadays we are having open educational resources repositories. Repositories means that there are some dedicated websites or portals which can be used for accessing OERs, open educational resources. I'm not going to discuss with you what is the meaning of open educational, but resources is clear that you are going to search resources. Resources means whatever you can use in your teaching learning process. So this is the skill you need. Means as a teacher you should be skilled enough that how to search e-resources using search engine. Then you can also be, or you can think upon that you should have this skill to use or to access resources from repositories. There are several repositories developed by different institutions. Like for example, if you think about NDL, National Digital Library, that is developed by IIT and in collaboration with the MHRD. Similarly, there was now it is not working, the second one, which is known as NROER, that is for school education. But you can think upon some institutional websites which are working or having resources and working as repositories. Like you have CEC. CEC is having so many resources on its website. Similarly, there are websites of different, just like for example, NPTEL. NPTEL is having so many resources on its website. So you can also go to specific institutions websites which are having mapped resources. The difference is when you go to a particular website, if it is not dedicated to host the resources, it will not map. Map means, for example, you need a resource for a particular topic in a particular subject. When you will type this particular topic in Google, you will get thousands or you can say billions of links, and out of that you have to search. But if you are going to a particular repository, you will use filter, or you can use filter to search as per your requirement. Like for example, if you go to NDL, National Digital Library, there are filters like subject, uh, stream, or language. Means, for example, you want to search English medium or Hindi medium, means resources in Hindi, resources in English, resources in some other language. Like for example, you want to search resources for mathematics, so you can select subject as a filter, then select subject like mathematics. You can also think upon stages, means school stage or higher education stage. Similarly, there are some other filters there. So you can use filter and go to directly to that particular resource which are mapped with the curriculum. So that is why you have to have skill to access e-resources. Then come to the next point, how to create. For creation, first point is that you should know what are the formats in which you can create e-resource. Word file, PDF, or PPT also is a kind of textual resource. Image as a diagram, photograph, poster, infographics. So there are so many even example of images. Then you can also create audio resource, video resource. Even including these two, you can also create multimedia, audio visual in combination. You can also create animation. So these are the various or different formats in which you can create your teaching learning resource, e-resource. Whenever you are going to develop any kind of resource, you should follow some steps. And I'm not going to discuss with you this theoretical model AD, but there are 5 steps which you should follow. Very first step is analysis, means you should analyze the content, the topic, that what is the topic, what are the subtopics, what is the objective or learning outcome. For to achieve that particular objective, you are creating this particular resource, and so many things. Then you go to develop a design blueprint, that this particular resource will be having these many components, or this will be the design. There you will have, like for example, if you think about the video, so whether in video you will have only images or images with content, text, then what will be the place, what will be the ratio, and so many things. So you have to have some kind of blueprint with you to develop that particular resource. And then as per the blueprint, using some technology, you have to develop. So second D is for development. First D is for design, second D is for development. Like for example, if you are thinking to develop or to create a video, so you have to use some software, or like for example, nowadays you are having mobile phone where you have the feature to create the video, as well as you can also edit. So you can use your mobile phone for video creation. Even you can have digital camera to create some video. And then for editing, you can use some software. So you have to think about the software or the tool for creating video. Then animation also can be created using software. So this is the development. Then try out, implementation. The I is for implementation, but it is the meaning of this implementation is that you have to try out with a small group whether this particular resource is working well or not, whether I have to modify something or it is okay. And after implementation, after getting the results or whatever feedback you are getting, you have to evaluate and finalize. Now it is valuable or worthy for the teaching community or students, that they can use this particular resource. You can also, as a developer, you can also use in your classroom. And then you think about the tools. It may be studio. Sometimes if you think about the video can be developed in the studios. Like there are institutions which are having these studios, and they have the complete setup where starting from cameraman, makeup artist, floor in charge, and director, and so many, and even the person who is going to record the video. So there are so many, you can say, things maybe there in studio. I'm not going in the detail, but point is you can use the studio if you have as an institution, or you can also uh, software. There are software which can be used for creating the video. So this is the way we can create the resource, and this is a kind of skill which a teacher should have, that teacher should be skilled enough or competent enough to create e-resources whenever it is required. Then after creating, you may require some sharing with the community of teachers, colleagues, students, and you can say with anyone. So nowadays you have repositories, as I mentioned, and where there is a possibility or option where individual can or institution can upload resources. Like NROER was having this particular option of uploading the resources. Even you can also upload resources on your blog, or you can also upload resources on your website if you have. Even in institutions, teachers are uploading their e-resource on institutional websites or repositories. Even you can download. So uploading and downloading is the way of sharing. Someone is uploading, someone is downloading. You may also upload, you may also download. Another way is that you can publish your resource. Maybe as a teacher, you are having your blog, you are having your YouTube channel, you are having your web page, you are having your wiki account where you can share your work, your resource. Maybe nowadays every teacher is having such kind of interest that I should have my own blog, my own YouTube, my web page, my wiki, so that I can share my creativity with the whole world. I can facilitate the learning process giving such kind of e-resource. And there are nowadays online courses on different portals. I have given the name SWAM because it is government portal where so many online courses are going on, where a teacher as a coordinator, if it is getting chance, can create online course and share the resources. And the other way is that as a teacher, if you need some resource, you can join some online course and you can get the exact material for a particular topic, because these courses are mapped with the curriculum. Most of the courses are mapped with the curriculum. There are courses which are generic in nature, but the technology, you can say technical courses like BTech. Am I audible? In between, I think to check whether my voice is going or not. Am I audible to all? First, tell me whether I am audible to you. just inform me whether you are able to listen to me. Am I audible to you? Okay. I am sharing again my screen. Yes. So I was talking about whenever you are not able to listen me, please inform so that I can check my. Sometimes it may happen that I am speaking, but maybe due to some connectivity you are not able to listen or not. It is not audible. So whenever it is such kind of situation, you please inform me. So I was talking about the online courses where one can access the resource and share the resource. After sharing, you can think upon the presentation, means how to present my idea in front of the learners or in front of the audience using digital platforms. So there are different ways, like now currently I'm using PowerPoint. So this is one of the way of presentation, digital presentation. There are different software like, in free and open source. LibreOffice has one component, Libre Impress. Prezi is also one of the software where you can create such presentations and you can show. If you want to share your PPT or presentation to others, you can use different ways. And there is one platform which is known as SlideShare, where you can create your account and share your presentation with the world. So again, how to create presentation, that is also one of the skill. And how to share, how to upload, how to create account on a particular website, this is also a kind of skill. So you should, as a teacher, you should know and you should be skilled enough to create presentation as well as to share the presentation with the colleagues or community of teachers. Next point is that you want to have some kind of skill for interaction, for communication. And maybe you are aware of that there are two types of communication in digital mode: synchronous and asynchronous. Synchronous example of this type of communication means like email, chat, groups, forums, where one person is having some, you can say, content or idea or things to share, and he or she has sent that particular message, but other end the person is not there at that time, and he or she see or check the mail or chat after some time and then respond. So it is not real time communication. But in asynchronous, it is live. So currently, like for example, now I'm using Zoom as a video conferencing tool. So this is one of the example of live communication. Then assessment, you can also think upon that you should be skilled enough to create assessment items. Like you can use word processor to type questions, and in Word you can create a kind of test paper or questionnaire or something. But that is the tool where you can only create, you cannot conduct, you cannot give this particular assessment item to the student to respond, and then you cannot collect. But in other software like Hot Potato, Google Forms, H5P, Kahoot, Mentimeter, you can create as well as you can conduct. Conduct means you can give, like for example, if you create some Google form, you can share the link, send the link of this particular Google form to someone, and he or she will open that particular Google form, will submit the response, fill the response, and then you will get the result or responses from the respondents. So if you are creating Google Forms, you can give to the students and assess. Similarly, you can use H5P, Kahoot, Mentimeter, Hot Potato, and so many other things. This is just an example. One important point I want to mention here that I'm not advocating any software here. My point is I want just to give some example, and there are so many examples. You can also go to Google and search that what are the software or applications or websites where you can create assessment items, means questions, or any other type of, you can say, like objective type, fill in the blanks, true and false, quiz, and so on. So this is all about the teaching skills, ICT skills for teaching. Now, just a brief idea about the online teaching learning, where you can think upon that how to go for online teaching learning and what kind of things are required. So there are again 4 components, but the difference is that here resources are in digital formats, like textbooks in digital format, like e-textbooks or digital textbooks. Then web links, YouTube links, and any other web link you can think of. Then in interaction, in classroom interaction, you can think upon WhatsApp chat or any other type of chat or forum discussion or any other kind of discussion or interaction which is not live. But you can also think upon live sessions, live interaction with the help of Google Meet, Zoom, Microsoft Team, or any other tool which you can use. Then assessment also in digital format, like I mentioned, Google Forms, test on Google Classroom, or you can say assignment on Google Classroom, or any other tool you can use for assessment. So this whole scenario which you have seen in the first slide is now converted into online teaching learning scenario. Then what kind of skills or you can say requirements are there for online teaching learning? Like you need some hardware and software. So that is not my point to discuss. My point to use the second part is skills. So you should have a skill to use Google Meet. If you want to do teaching online, you have to have this skill that you can create or you can use some video conferencing tool like Google Meet or Zoom or any other. Then you may also think upon LMS like Google Classroom, how to use LMS. It may be Google Classroom, it may be Moodle, it may be any other LMS, learning management system. You can also think how to use Blackboard. Now, Blackboard is in digital format. It may be known as some other name you can have, or you can, whenever you search, you will find. Sometimes you will find Jamboard. Jamboard is one kind of Blackboard in digital, you can say, scenario, and some other free and open source software or mobile apps. So you have to have this skill to use these software and mobile apps. Then you can also think upon how to plan for online teaching using digital online tools. This planning for online and offline will be different. Whatever you can show in offline mode cannot be shown with the online mode. So you have to plan accordingly. So you should have a skill to plan for online teaching. Then you should think upon, again, it is same for as offline and online, to access e-resources, to create e-resources, and to present content using digital online tools. And these again the same things. It may be online or offline. Means you have to interact, you have to assess. So these are the skills required for online teaching learning. This is just for your reference, not for discussion, that there are some challenges in online teaching learning like connectivity, in terms of technology as well as educational. And authenticity is again very much kind of challenge in front of the teaching, you can say, teachers and the whole education system. And quality and relevance of resources is a big question. Open educational resources means how to create or access these OERs is again a challenge, because very few people are there in the field who are creating these OERs. And inclusion is very important, that how to reach to the last child is very a big question and a big challenge to the teaching community or education system. So thank you very much. Now I will show you some live things. I'm closing my presentation here, and we'll take a break of 5 minutes to get your to take your questions. If you have some questions, you can ask. Otherwise, I will move to the live things. Like for example, I will show you first how to create mind map or concept map. Then I will show you how to search or access the resources and other things which I shared with you. So do you have anyone of you have some question? Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir. Yes, yes, sir.
So any one of you want to ask something?
Yes, Shubhangi ma'am wants to ask something.
Yes, please. I am not able to listen. If someone is speaking, please speak loudly.
Yes, is there anyone who wants to ask the question? Someone said yes, yes, sir. So there is one participant, Usha Rani. She's telling to share the PPT, and she's asking that which option will be best for engineering student. And
Okay.
hello, sir.
Okay, there is another question. Please share any digital app for smart teaching.
Teaching.
Okay, first question, which is related to engineering student. The first point is nothing is best and nothing is worst. It depends upon 2-3 things. First is that what is the nature of content. Content means that whatever topic you are going to teach may have different nature. Like for example, that content may be some kind of concept. Sometimes it may be a kind of fact or information only. Sometimes it is an experiment. Just wait 1 minute, a quick call is coming. Hello, yes, please. Sorry for interruption, एक call आ गया था. Yes, तो what I am saying that there is a point that there may be the content may be some kind of concept. Sometimes it is fact or information. Sometimes it is experiment or procedure, means process is involved in that. Sometimes it is a kind of content where child has to debate, means metacognitive element is involved. So it depends upon the nature of the content. Suppose if you want to teach just information, means you want to share the information or facts with the students. So no need for video or animation or any kind of the tool which is there, means the software kind of thing. You just prepare a poster or a PPT or just image where you have listed that particular information or fact. But if you are going to teach a process, means you are going to engage the child in experiment or in process, then it is required that you should have some kind of video or simulation or animation where the child can visualize that particular process or that particular you can say procedure. So it depends upon the nature of the content as well as it depends upon the context. Sometimes we say that okay, I will use simulation in my classroom, but that is not possible in the classroom because it requires some kind of setup. So think real, means think in reality, don't just imagine that I can use this and that. So context should be analyzed. And then pedagogy is also or andragogy. If it is higher education, andragogy will be there. So think upon that what kind of strategy or way you will use to make the student understand. So most of the time engineering content is basically having competencies or skills. So if it is competency based or skill based, then you need some kind of demonstration videos to demonstrate that particular skill as a teacher. And then you should have simulation as a platform for practice. So if you want to see the example of that, there is a website for school education because I am working in school education. So I am giving examples from school education. So there is a website OLab. If you can note down, OLab is a website where you can see these two examples where science experiments are there. You can see the demonstration video as well as the simulation where child can do the experiments. So that kind of environment is required for engineering students. Hope you get the answer. The second question is related to share any digital app for smart teaching. The first thing is, sorry to mention here this point, that I don't believe that the teaching just says smart teaching, but you should concretize this particular term first. What is the meaning of smart? Smart means digital, or smart means the teaching techniques which are used by the teachers. Means in which way you are saying smart. So if you are thinking smart as a digital, then you can think upon there are so many apps. Like you can use very first thing is there is a digital blackboard, interactive board, interactive digital board, or it is also known as a smart board. So you can use that smart board for smart teaching if you are thinking smart as a digital. And there are mobile apps which can be used inside. Means like for example, whenever you are going to capture the screen, you want to share the screen, you want to store that particular work which is done on the screen, means on the interactive board. You want to use some video where you want to interact with that particular video, where in between you want to highlight, you want to cut that particular portion, show in zoom view. So there are so many applications are required there to use digital or you can say interactive board. Hope you get the answer. Anyone else who want to know something else? So should I go to the demonstration?
Yes, sir. You can proceed.
Okay. I am sharing my screen again. I am showing first the software which I mentioned at the time of presentation, pre-plane. So if you can see the screen now, this is the home screen of that particular software. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So at the center, it is already written new mind map, which is by default. Whenever you will start typing, it will disappear, and your whatever you will type, it will appear there. So I'm typing, like for example, digital teaching skill. So this is the main title or main theme which I want to show you. I will click outside and it will be look like that. Now the second option or second point is that in concept map or mind map, there are two things. One is in technological terms, there are two terms. One is child node, another is sibling node. Sibling means the branches or dimensions. And child node means further explanation or expansion. So first I have to create the branches, means what I will discuss in this particular major theme, digital teaching skills. So like for example, I have shown you my slides. So very first point was planning. So I will click or enter button. I will press the enter button from the keyboard. So if I press enter button from the keyboard, I think all of you know the enter button in the keyboard. So whenever you will click or you will press, you will get the branch and you can type now. Now I will type planning or planning with ICT. Maybe some of you can say that it is very small, I am not able to see. So how to enlarge it or zoom it? There are two ways. One is I can increase the font. Like in Word, if you are not able to see the text, you can increase the font. So if I increase the font, I can go to font size, see the cursor, and then click on the size which you want. Or if you want to zoom it the whole screen, you can go to the view or where it is written 100%. So click on the icon there and you can choose like 150 or 200%. So if I click on 150, so it will zoom the view. Okay. Now the second point is, now if sub theme to explain at the other side, means the left side it is right side it is planning for me, and then I want to create another branch at the left side. So I will click at the center. This time it will create at the other end, other side. Now I can type like access e-resource. Now I want to create another sub branch or you can say dimension this side only. So I will click here only enter button. So whenever I will click enter button again, it will create the new branch. Now I will type like create e-resource. Similarly, I can create so many branches. Now, if I want to explain that what is planning, as I mentioned that planning may be in terms of time, content. So how to go ahead to explain planning? So click on planning first and then click on insert button from the keyboard. If you are not able to find insert button from the keyboard, then what you can do, you can go to insert menu. If you can see the menu bar, there is a button, sorry, there is a menu insert. You can click there. The very first option is new node, and in this particular option again there are some options, sub options, and very first is again new child node. So you can click on this. So if I click from here, insert new node, new child node, it will create a child node in front of, or in you can say extension of planning with ICT. So for example, time planning. So I can create right here time plan. Similarly, again, I will create the branch here, the second aspect of planning, by clicking or pressing the enter button. So here I can write content. So this way I can create my concept map. You can also do some formatting and editing similar to Word. You can bold it, you can italic, means you can do some this kind of formatting. You can also give the color to the text. Even you can highlight with some designs. Like for example, if I click on this icon of cloud, so whenever you will click here, it will, whatever was the selected portion, it will be like this. So this way, even you can color. For coloring in this cloud, you can have the next button where cloud color is mentioned, and you can take one any color out of it. This way. So this way you can move this. You can say location. For example, you want to take it here. Okay. So this way you can do this kind of formatting. And whenever you are completing it, one is interactivity, which is there right now. You can use interactivity in front of students. So you can use this particular concept map or mind map with the help of this software. Means you have to save this file with the concept map extension, and that is known as save map as or save map, and the extension will be .mm. As you can see here where the cursor is, it may be saved as .mm. So this is the sign. Whenever you will save the file as .mm, it will be a mind map file. It can be opened whenever you are requiring with the help of any mind map software similar to FreePlane. And you can use this concept map with this interactivity. But if you don't want to save in this way, you want to use it as an image, still image, or PDF or any other format, you can select export map. Please remember it, the second map. And whenever you will click this option, you will get the again options of different formats, like you can save it in JPG format, you can save in HTML format, PNG or PDF. There are so many options here. So suppose you want to save in JPG, just click JPG, 1, 2, 3, and save it in, you can say desktop. Save it. So it will be saved as image. Okay. Now you can see. I am stopping this software now and will show you that the screen जो है वो screen sharing is stopped. I will share again. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Yes, yes. So this is another website. This is not software. This is website which gives you the platform or creating mind map or concept map online. So you can use this, and there are so many other web. This is just, again I'm saying the same point, that this is just example. You can search anyone, and there are so many other websites. So if I click here, continue with Google, it will ask me that which account you want to use, and then we'll go ahead. There are some, you can say, plan. I'm not going to say that you should purchase. You just go for free. See, I have created some mind map already. So I'm just clicking to open to show you that there is some, you can say, you can also create in this way. And there are some, you can say, things which you can use here. And this is, its look is good. You can use these kind of things, that layout you can change also, and even you can also use themes. So if you click on themes, you will get the different kind of themes, like this way or this way. So you can use any one. Even you can also change the layout, like for example, you want to create organized chart or list or mind map. So similarly you can select. And if you want to create something new here, you just click where plus sign is shown. So see, if cursor is visible to you, there is a point plus sign, and whenever you will click on this, you will get the new branch, and you can type here. So like for example, ABC, mind map. I think this much is enough for I will go for now next to search the resources. How to search the resource? Like for example, I mentioned that there are three ways. One is, if you know the dynamic sorry, there was some interruption in internet. So I am again sharing my screen. I hope now it is visible.
Yes, sir, yes.
Okay. So whenever you go to search something in Google, it will show you all the things, all the links. And whenever it is all, it means it is including text, images, video, audio, everything. So here the important point is that there are some points which you should remember. If you want to search the resource, then there is a point which I mentioned at the time of presentation that we should go for OER. So how to search OER content means which is not property of someone. So if I want to search OER text, then I should go for settings and then go for advanced search. And whenever you will click on advanced search, there are some options. And at the last, there is an option filter usage rights. And it is by default not filtered by license. So just click on this and get the options. And there are 5 options. Out of the 5, the last one is free to use, share, or modify even commercially. This is the OER license. Even these are also OER license, but this is the most liberal license in OER. So you can click on advanced search. Now you will get the text which is filtered by this license. So you can trust, or you can use these, you can say, links to get the text. Similarly, if you want to search image, so you can click on image. On digital, it will show only images. And whenever it will show the images, there is an option tools where cursor is. Maybe you are able to see it. So if you click on tools, you will get the next line. It is, I think internet is slow. Yes. Is it visible now that there is an option usage right?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Whenever you click on this point, you will get again, there are 3 options. By default, it is all, but you can select Creative Commons licenses because it will give you the filtered image, which is under CC licenses, which are open license. So click on this, you will get the filtered images. Now you can think that you can use these images in your content or wherever you want to use. So these are the images filtered with the license Creative Commons. And there are 7 licenses, which I'm not going to discuss in detail, but you can search or you can go through these licenses. There is a website, creativecommons.org. Even if you go to this website, you can search the resource also, which will be automatically filtered. So creativecommons.org is a website. I am just typing, you can see on the creativecommons.org. This is the website. If you click on this website, get the idea that what is the meaning of Creative Commons licenses and how to search the resources which are published under these licenses. If you are able to see, you can see here, this is the complete website. And if you see here, there are some options like, for example, search. You can click here. If you want to share your work and use this license, then you can click here. Hello. Sorry, there was a call again. And as I told the organizer, Mr. I think Pratik, that I have another meeting. So I'm stopping here, and I want, if you have some questions, you can ask.
Okay, sir.
Okay, okay. So is anyone who's having any questions? Wait for a minute. Wait for a minute. And then we'll move ahead. Yes. Our participants, please mute yourself. If you have a question, then only please unmute yourself. Okay, okay. So I don't think so there are any questions. So we'll end this session. So on behalf of Vidyalankar Polytechnic, I would like to thank you, sir, for taking time to share this valuable information. The session was very informative, especially the practical part, the websites which you showed us to know. So it would be very helpful for us to create the content. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for giving me this chance, and apologize for some technical glitches in between.
No issues, no issues. Okay, so there is an announcement to the participants regarding the issue of a certificate. Now, all the participants must fill and submit the feedback form, which will be provided on the WhatsApp group at the end of the this day, every day. And minimum 80% of attendance is the criteria for the certification. E-certificate will be provided after 17th of August, and the nominal charges for earning the certificate is ₹100, and link for the payment will be provided in the WhatsApp group. And the second session, that is the session 2 of the day 1, will exactly start at 1 o'clock. So I request all the participants to join 10 minutes before. So I even thank you all the participants for joining for this first session, waiting for you to join in the second session. Thank you very much.